Loyalty described as, do you care? And I care, and that's why I'm on this show. Comes a time, here we go.
I'm a sucker for O'Teal, man. I saw that same feeling that I have, that would he filled a void that I didn't even know existed.
It feels so good, too, as Ben said, to try to do something about an issue as opposed to complaining.
If you can't help, don't hurt.
If we could just all get out there and throw cream puffs at each other, maybe things would, instead of bullets and angry words, it would be better.
When you stop laughing, you stop living.
There's a worldwide surge in interest in mushrooms.
It was deep, man.
It's not that TM makes your mind quiet down there. It already is. We're just stuck up here. We've lost access.
Jumpin' Jack Flash came out by the Stones. So I thought, all right, perfect, man. I'm gonna drive. And I started driving through the neighborhood, and I got a text from Mick Jagger.
People saying that, what we do is non-essential. Well, playing those few gigs that you saw me at felt pretty essential to me.
It wasn't like they were clapping from here. It was they were clapping from here.
My view of things is that death is the last and best reward for a life well lived.
Like it's the strangest of places if you look at it right,
If you're liking what you're hearing, head on over to patreon.com/comesatimepod and get your bus pass for an extra episode every week.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Comes a Time. That's O'Teal.
I think that's Mike.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still a little bit sick. I'm finally on the end of it here after almost, I guess, a week and a half. I haven't done my DDPY in a week and a half, bro.
I actually have to ask you about that when we get off. But
yeah. I'm back. I got back on it today. I did my diamond cutter.
Diamond cutter.
I'm back on track.
Screw it. I'll ask you now. Do you use the app or do you use is it the on demand DDPY on demand or just the DDPY?
No, it's only on two devices that I have it loaded. It's the app and it's on my phone and my iPad. My iPad's for the homework, but I have this little armband that I put on my heart monitor, and I just wanted to see how many calories I was burning for roller skating or whatever. Dude, I'm burning a ton of calories just playing soccer in the house with Nigel or roller skating through the house. So I put it on sometimes, and then I have the DDP on my phone.
Oh, okay.
And I get points for.
So I was trying to do it on the TV on the Fire Stick, but I didn't know which one to use. So later, screenshot me a picture of the app, and I'm gonna get that one because there's two. Yeah. But anyway,
we had Nigel Hall on the podcast from Lettuce. Such a great podcast. Hit many of the themes that we like to talk about. Sobriety, mental health, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. And it's just the beauty of doing this with you is, like me, so many people love you and look up to you and care so much about you. And it's so great to be a fly on the wall. It's like I have a front row seat at such great conversations that I'm just honored to be a part of, to listen to, you know what I mean? And it's easy because I just get to quietly go this is really awesome to watch. And,
so you're saying you didn't get to participate at all?
I did.
Just
no.
Kidding.
Oh God, no. I think that they're, but I mean, it's always great to hear.
Well, we grew up on the same street together. He gets into that story. We talk about that a little towards the end.
No, I mean it from the most sincere place. It's,
I know.
And it's just it's so great. And this was yet another just awesome talk that, he said some super important stuff that sobriety and, I feel like everybody kind of that's going on any journey, right? Or any self-discovery or be it something they chose or whether it was put upon them. We're all at a certain point in the tunnel, right? We're in the tunnel and we see, or maybe some don't, the light at the end of it. And it might be miles away. It might be right around the corner. Yeah. So to hear someone from the other end of the tunnel going, it's sunny on this side.
Yeah, it's good over here.
Pretty important,
For real. Especially for those of us that know where he was and were really worried. And it's just beautiful to see. And he's such a funny guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And so just like, I'm glad that he retained all of that. He retained all of the best. He weeded his garden out, and now it's just like
the flowers are blooming.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it was another quick podcast.
Yeah. This is one I'll definitely go back and listen to over again for sure as a fan.
Oh, it's so funny stuff. The thing about my dog, oh my God.
Ken, I got to say something. How have we not done 2 hours on Bruno already? What the fuck? Dude, Bruno.
Cujo, as he said, your dog, we used to call your dog Cujo. Oh, man.
I want there to be a Pixar. I want there to be a Pixar about Bruno.
I'll find some pictures of him because,
please,
as you can tell, in Washington, D.C., and especially in Southeast, he was legendary.
I was picturing, it's so funny. I was thinking about like Hanna-Barbera cartoon dogs that are like, where the chain is like literally like they're floating. It's like a 100-pound, like.
That was our dog. He was like, oh my God, he bit.
What color was Bruno?
He was a German Shepherd.
Oh,
had that dark brown and black mix. Beautiful. It's a beautiful dog, man. And he was the terror of Southeast Washington. No joke. And so to hear it from Nigel, Nigel is like 16 years younger than me and Kofi, or I guess 19 younger than Kofi. So we never knew him. He was like a kid.
Right.
And but apparently he knew our dog though.
So funny.
Really
you go, we missed each other. He goes, but I didn't miss Bruno.
I didn't.
That sounded like the beginning of like Jaws. Then I wanted to hear like dun 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 dun.
And he even thought, I'm not gonna ruin it. It was so good. Yeah. Y'all got to see this one, but Lettuce, obviously one of my favorite bands. Nth Power, he was in. That was my son Nigel's first concert.
Oh yeah,
Nth Power. Yeah. So
wow.
In New Orleans. I did good by that kid.
That's pretty damn
good
great.
Good by that kid.
Dad of the year right there.
Yeah, so you guys, you know him, you love him, and if you don't, you will after this.
Yeah, enjoy it. And thanks for listening. We're on Osiris, home to so many great podcasts. Go to osirispod.com and check us out at patreon.com/comesatimepod for a bonus episode each week. Thank you, Nigel, for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. That looks like a fun room you're in right there, man.
It is a very fun room. It's a lot. You know what? This room is an alternate universe. It has become an alternate universe since my wife and I moved out of the French Quarter and we bought this house. And this room was a shed. It was just a shed that was holding bikes up on the walls and rat shit and rat fucking traps and everything. And now it's my haven in here. And like a lot, I'm telling you, man, like when I come in here, it's 1975 in this room.
It's the aura
prevails
in the shed.
And it's so crazy too, because like now you see it like it's high noon. So like there's a lot of natural light that comes in here, but I got the lights. I got the light vibe in here, so like I can turn the red light on, or the blue light, or the purple light, and then when I'm really in here cooking, and all the lights are on from the instruments, and the vibrato light is blinking back and forth. Bro, it's so crazy in here. Like I make so much. Like I'm halfway done doing demos for my next record. So
nice.
Wow.
My third record.
That's
awesome. And on top of that, I'm like aside from that, 2 more records in the can, because I'm working on like this kind of TV record, like all my favorite songs from television and movies.
No kidding.
That I'm really doing, and I got a bunch of people playing on that, bunch of horns, and it's turning into a huge production. And I'm doing it all here in this room. I'm obviously sending shit out to people and then sending it back, but I'm doing the majority of the work in this room.
How How far back do you go with those tunes? Not to, I don't want to spoiler alert, but the TV and the movie tunes.
Oh shit!
70s,
okay, well,
bro.
I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, this is exciting.
this is great. It's like my favorite shit to talk about. Is I'll tell you how it started. Really, if I have time to do that.
You do.
In the wintertime, last winter, my dad got really sick. He didn't get sick, but like he had like 3 strokes in a row. And I was really, really upset and I was worried. And I started this thing to get my mind off of being so worried because I'm a worrywart. I started working on these songs and I was like, all right, let me just do something to get my mind off of it. And the first thing I started was the opening sequence of Bustin' Loose with Richard Pryor.
Nice.
So I did that whole thing. I did the drums. I did everything by myself. And really, oh, you'll love this, Otil. This whole record is really an excuse for me to just play bass. because I'm playing bass on everything. I'm not even playing keys on everything, but I'm damn sure playing bass on everything. Bro, I was singing you some shit and you're gonna be like, okay, that's my man.
Oh, now that you done bought a 5-string, I
know, but I just got it. I haven't figured out the right place for it yet. So I didn't think you was gonna tell everybody I had one.
Right now. Sorry. We can edit that out. We don't need
to edit anything. This is great. But I did the opening sequence to Bustin' Loose. I did 3 Days in the Condor by Dave Grusin, which nice. Chuck Rainey was the original bassist on that. I did the theme to The Toy. What else did I do? I did
You didn't do Car Wash?
No, I didn't do Car Wash, but I did something off of Car Wash. I did Zigzag.
Okay, I was like, something got to be in there somewhere.
I had to do Zigzag. I did Zigzag. I did Think from Superfly.
Wow.
I did So You Wanted to Meet the Wizard by The Wiz, from The Wiz, which is
wow.
I mean, The Wiz is, man, in my sobriety right now, which we'll talk about later, like man, I'm telling you, The Wiz has been touching my soul. It always has, but specifically now, there's so much that I missed. I didn't miss, but I just it didn't touch me the way it's touching me now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I did a bunch of my favorite TV stuff.
I do that stuff all the time, but on the gigs. And one of the guys in Dead and Company is hip to it.
Yeah,
I'll slip Barney Miller in.
Yeah.
All these. I'm pretty sure that's Chuck Rainey too. I bet
that's
money
definitely Chuck Rainey. That's absolutely Chuck
90% of that stuff is probably Chuck Rainey.
That's such a cool beat.
I love to do that, and then I shouldn't even say this, but fortunately, I don't have much cause to do it. But when I think something is corny, I'll put Nabisco at the end of the song. So if you ever hear me go da da da, I'm like, bing.
You could have never told me that.
I shouldn't have said it on the air. Now it's out because people will go back in time and be like, he played Nabisco. He doesn't like that song.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you don't like it. It's just corny.
No.
I like a lot of corny shit. I like.
Not good corny. Yeah, I guess I should distinguish.
You know what I mean? There's good cheese and there's bad. My wife will say all the time, like, yo, you one of the cheesiest motherfuckers I've met. and I'm cool with that. I'll take that.
That's kind of like our freak flag, right?
Look, because I got you, didn't I?
That's right. That's me. My corny's like Harry Potter that I still cry at Harry Potter movies.
Yeah. I watched a fun video of you like explaining how like the simplicity of like funk and just like with the bass, watching you play left-handed bass. I'm left-handed as well.
Oh yeah.
I was watching that for the Fender video.
Yeah.
All
three of us are lefties on
We're
here.
all lefties. Yeah. I play guitar lefty.
But O'Teal, you are a penmanship lefty.
Right? I write and eat with my left hand. That's right. I do everything else right-handed.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. You're still a lefty. You're still a lefty.
Both my kids are, and one's adopted, and my wife. Our whole house is left-handed.
Wow.
Find each other. We find each other.
Talk about the aura. The aura for real in your house.
Oh, it's on here, dude. But look, let me talk to you about this. The audience doesn't know, but Nigel is a stringist. A stringist.
What is that supposed to be?
4-string, 5-string, 6-string. So I play 6-string most of the time. Nigel will send me stuff to cut. He'll be like, "Man, will you play 4-string on this?" I'm like, "Yo, man."
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you why.
I got this.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because when we used to play together in a band, when we were in a band together, you would pull out Petunia, which is the red P bass.
The 63 P bass, which to him was God's bass. And that was feather light too.
Man, and I would hear you go from your 6-string, which is the greatest sound, listen, I have this conversation with bass players all the time, that there are 3 people that are allowed to play more than 6 strings.
More than 4, you mean?
More than 4 strings, yeah, because if you play more than 6, then you might need to go sit down somewhere.
That's a big neck.
You know what I mean? It's O'Teal, it's Nick Daniels, and Mono Neon. Everybody else is under the microscope. So good.
But now you just bought a 5. Now hold on, because this is a seismic change. This is like Trump getting elected.
No, it's not that bad. Come on, man.
Well, I'm not saying it's that bad. I'm saying it's that big of a shift. Not quality of shift, but 5-string. I was like, I had a little moment there.
You did, for real?
I was counting tuning pegs on your. I was like, I'm seeing 5.
I'm gonna tell you why I got it. Because I recently have just been delving into some old Marcus Miller stuff from back when he was producing with Luther Vandross.
He tuned down.
Those Aretha Franklin records. The What a Fool Believes record with Greg Phillinganes. There's another record called Get It Right. And there's another record called Jump to It, which everybody knows Jump to It. And Marcus is playing, he's doing some shit where he's really playing in E flat. I think he's still playing a 4-string. I think
he is. He has a drop D tuner, I think.
He's got the drop D. So I like doing that with the 5-string, but I also have been delving into some hip hop stuff, and you need that low shit.
Yes,
I can't tune my low E to a B and have it sound natural, because the string is so loose that it
terrible.
Just sounds wobbly and it don't sound right. No. So the only way to really solve that problem is to use a 5-string, which is not, which at the end of the day, I'm starting to be more open to the whole 5.
But see,
I'm not as gung-ho.
This is no, you can't be now, because you pointing the gun at yourself, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But this is how I came to it, Nigel. When I started playing my first gig at 19 years old, I moved to Virginia Beach when we were playing a top 40 beach band. That was the era where everybody with keyboard bass. Remember the System, and there was one dude like playing real bass left, and that was Pino Palladino playing with Paul Young, playing fretless no less. But he had that octave divider so he could get lower.
Right.
And so I was like, I didn't spend all this time practicing friggin' 8 hours a day to come up here and like boom, boom, boom.
Oh, dude,
all the cats were doing. They had keyboards, and I was like, oh no. So I was tuning down for a little while. And then I was like, man, and I was making steady money, so I bought that first Nathan East 5-string. Just so I could get down to the keyboard bass notes.
Right.
But then I started playing chords.
Right.
And I was like, man, if I had this one extra string and I tuned the guitar that way, and then it was over. 92 when I got my first 6, and then it was over.
Well, see, that's what I love and appreciate about your playing in particular is that you've learned a way to use that note or that extra string for something that will actually mean something. There are a lot of cats that play 5 strings, 6 string, and more, and they hang out on these low notes, and it's enough to cause you to fucking drink. It's like, I'm not playing, bro, because listen, if I'm playing, look, if you have 6 and more, you laugh and you think this is hilarious. I love it. This is great. But 6 strings it opens up some shit. And with great power comes great responsibility. And I don't think a lot of people understand who have 6 and more strings that now you in my shit. You coming into my shit. Now, you can't, look, low E is here. Right? Or there, right? I don't know if you can hear that. That's my C.
Yeah. We can.
That low E is there. When you go below that, and you can start coming up, and then you can go as high as notes like this. And on a bass, you're not playing bass no more. Why you pick bass up? Why you just ain't playing guitar? I'm not talking about you.
I do. You bring up a very good point though, and this is why Anthony Jackson. Nobody got any problem with Anthony Jackson. I know
I damn sure don't. He can play
all his coldest bass lines, right? And they were all on 6 string, right? Chaka Khan, whatever. He corrected me when I talked to him and I said something about the bass, and he said, no, it's a contrabass guitar. I play 6-string contrabass guitar. But it wasn't the contra thing that I was keying in on the most. It was the guitar thing. And I was like, that's right. So when people get on me, I'll be like, hey, man, I'm a guitarist. This is a guitar. It's not a double bass.
Right.
It's not a bass violin.
You're absolutely right.
This is a guitar.
Right.
So I treat it like a guitar. Why do you play that stuff? Because it's there.
Because it's right.
Which is why Nigel likes 4-string, because it's not there. He wants me to play bass, not guitar. So that's why we don't have a problem, because we both understand both.
And you understand how to use those notes and not get in the motherfucker's way. And there are a lot of people.
Some people will never like it.
I mean, unless you intend to, because there's that too. There's that too. It's like, okay, like for instance, like when I play with Lettuce, I got the world around me, and sometimes God calls me to play some synth bass when there's a bass playing already, when I should come in and do my little George Duke thing. And I do it. And I intend to do it. You know what I'm saying?
And Jesus doesn't mind it.
And he don't care, because he know the shit. Look, if it's dope, it's dope.
And we're talking about Jesus, the bass player, not
the bass player.
He said God calls me to do it.
Well,
so
maybe Jesus doesn't mind either,
Well, I just don't want to speak for Jesus. I can speak for this Jesus, not the other one. Actually, I could probably speak for both of them that they don't mind me playing bass.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
We can still have church. I know it's Thursday, but we can still have church.
Well, that brings up another thing in my mind, because when I got to play with, Bernie Worrell. Now, he's a lot of the coldest bass lines on Parliament.
Literally on the planet.
So I had my 6-string too, and now Bernie's right there. And I'm like, he's like, no, you play that line. I was like, oh, man. You talk about being on the hot seat.
Yeah,
and then he came up to me and he was like, you scare me, man.
I might have actually.
I think you were on that gig.
I might have been on that gig. I think I remember you. I remember talking to you like, yo, you were like, yo.
I could have died then, because I was like, he played with Bootsy. He played with, he is Bernie.
He is Bernie.
He's just Bernie. We could just stop there. And I was just like, I got the stamp of approval.
Man,
You know, I was just like,
me
wow.
some badass shit the other day where Bernie was playing some stuff on the CP80, and they just had a breakdown. It's just him playing electric piano, man. And like I was, you know where I'm at, and like I almost forgot. Like I didn't forget, but like I forgot how fucking dope. Shout out to Bernie Worrell, dude.
Yeah,
Real
man.
talk. He does not get a lot of the due that he's deserved. He is the reason for the P-Funk shit to be.
And he didn't get the money he deserved. That's for sure.
He didn't get the money, nor did he get like them motherfuckers should not have ever had to work again after that shit.
Yeah. But that's the business, like I just saw a thing where Howlin' Wolf like got a degree, taught himself. He like educated himself. All his band members had health insurance, and all of them died with money.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, and his wife and Howlin' Wolf's wife, like he came from Mississippi.
Yeah.
And he got his shit together and had his business together. People don't realize what it's for. And not everybody does that. Like, I don't know George, but obviously all those guys didn't get taken care of,
We're not in it. I don't think, or I'm going to say I'm not in any position to talk about anybody else's business but my own, because my own is hard enough. It's hard enough to deal with my own shit.
But it's super inspiring to hear you talk about how, like you took an adversity like your dad being ill and turned it into, I love what you said, where you're like, I need to distract myself or dive into something pivot because you're a worrywart. And I totally get that. And I think that's awesome that's really cool, man. That's really
It's better than doing more drugs and drinking.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Is that in my sobriety, and I just want to get the actual. Let's get the actual count today.
Mm-hmm.
I am 1 year, 3 months, and 22 days.
Come on!
Congratulations, man.
I still smoke weed.
You're Cali sober.
What I do, and that's my journey. And I'm Cali sober. Yes.
Well, here's my thing with that. Weed, and we have to, because we've dealt with 70 years of brainwashing, just like with UFOs and gays and mushrooms. Weed is a plant. Drugs are made in a laboratory.
Right.
Weed grows out of the ground. So I do not do drugs. I smoke weed.
It's the same. Look, I eat basil, nigga. Look. Okay, I like lettuce. I play in a goddamn band called Lettuce. Okay, we go from the earth, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I had to get in the microphone and say that shit.
Remember we talked about the roller? He's like the guy in the roller rink. Remember we were talking to Teal about roller? He's up in the booth right now. The next one's for couples only. The next one's for couples only. Leaning up like that.
Shout out to OTO Burbridge.
Shout out to
this one's a request from Stephanie DeJohn.
Coming to the stage, Diamond.
Yeah.
I got to shout out Ona Watson from Birmingham, Alabama, because he owned this club, and I always think of it as a black thing, but Ona had a DJ booth in the club. Now, he played at the club a lot.
Yeah.
But all these other bands would come in. But Ona, old school black dude, just Ona, if you were really getting on the groove, all of a sudden you would hear another voice. He would have grabbed the mic in the DJ booth and started singing along with you.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And he would always introduce you, So he introduced me one night as Ornell Brundage or something. My sound man he called me that from forever. He still calls me Ornell.
That is
Brundage.
your new name in my phone, Ornell Brundage.
Ornell Brundage. Out to Brundage.
Brundage.
But Ona he would just creep on the mic and you could hear he was real close. Oh yeah, y'all come on.
Look,
that's so weird. The God mic.
That's one of the things I have in my studio. That's why I'm using this mic. I got another mic that's stronger, better for vocals and stuff. I was cutting backgrounds last night, but this one it's crazy because I'll be in here mixing myself, and all of a sudden I'm who let Biggie in here? I'm breathing that shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm who let Biggie in here? Where the fuck did he come from? And I gotta go in and piece it out. I'm like, okay, delete this shit. Vocal starts here. Bam. But no, what I wanted to say when you mentioned that about my dad, like I want to first say that my dad is doing much better. He's
Good.
So much better. It's crazy. I'm just for a moment. I just want to talk about the power of love.
Please
for
do.
a second, because my father. I'm trying to say this as quickly as I can, but my father and I, from the age of 9 to about 15, we didn't have the greatest relationship. And he nobody has, and I'm gonna say that there were a lot of things, including my drug use, that I blamed on my father coming up. And in my sobriety, as I look back on those things, and as I look back into why my life was the way that it was, and now that I'm sober enough to be more honest with myself, which I enjoy more than I don't, because we all have to face the facts one fucking day.
Or die.
If you don't do it in this life, you're gonna have to face them when you show up to the pearly gates. Wherever you think will end up. So one of those things is, it's like, he didn't. It's a lot. We don't, as parents, we don't have a manual of how to raise a child. And with every one of your children, you don't. Every one of your children, if you have multiple children, they're different. They're completely different than the last one.
Right.
So my dad had a lot of children. I have 12 brothers and sisters. And, he didn't make the best decisions with all of them. But at the end of the day, the man did what the fuck he thought was right. And I can get into the whole thing one day. If we got time later, we will. But when he ended up in the hospital, I went to Kansas City, because my dad lives in Kansas City. I went to Kansas City to help take care of him. And he was not doing good when I got there, or before I got there. But when I left, the doctors had told me about the vast improvement that he made just by me being there. And it made me feel really, really good, because the connection that I have with my father is the reason that I stand for the beauty that is music, that I get to feel a natural high that I get to feel every day of my life if I want to, that no drug or no person can replicate.
Yeah.
He gave that to me. He taught me how to understand it, how to process it, how to feel it, and how to apply those things that I learned through music in my life, how to make funky decisions in my life as well as in music.
Did he play also?
He was a player. He did play. In fact, I got his Stratocaster right over there. I got his guitar. He actually. Do you realize how long I've been bugging my father for this guitar? And after that, after he went home, he sent it to me. He said, "Here you go." Wow. You know what I mean? So I haven't. He's a lefty too. He's a lefty. That's how I learned how to play. I learned how to play because my dad wanted to be Jimmy so bad, and he thought that was the right way to play because it was Jimmy playing it.
Kind of agree with
and
him.
Obviously, Jimmy can do no wrong, so I must be having to play it this way. And that's how he taught himself, and that's how I learned. Because
that's amazing.
Yeah. But I feel like moving forward, I feel like my the fact that I forgave him, it really made me feel like I did something good for him when I went to go, because in his mind, he's like, well, why is Nigel going to leave his busy life to come and take care of me? But that's exactly what I did. And he couldn't even believe it. And I think I don't know. I think you know. I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Completely.
Love is magic, man.
Love is magic, man.
Magic.
And to get back to that record, the reason why I'm glad that I was able to channel that worrying side of myself, because they say sobriety is one day at a time. And when you are a worrier, you're worrying about shit that you've already done, and you're worried about what's going to happen in the future. And the key to being successfully sober, and not even sober, but just having common sense throughout the fucking day, like regular fucking, like an actual person, is to just deal with right now. I can't control what I did yesterday. Yes, I might have put my foot in somebody's ass yesterday, but that's yesterday. I can't. I mean,
you can apologize today.
I can apologize today.
Or if they deserve it.
If they deserve it, I can do it again today.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, completely.
What's going to happen tomorrow? Everybody's like, man, I can't wait to see you, and when you have 5 years sobriety, I'm like, I might be in a fucking ditch.
You could get hit by a car 2 years.
I could get hit by a car.
6 months.
You know what I'm saying?
That's our thing. Who
knows? In 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can I ask you a quick question? Because I want to, I think about this with like addiction. A lot of people think substance addiction, but there's also thought process addiction. And you said something about being a worrywart, and I wanted to ask you about that. There's an addiction to worrying, and there's an addiction to anxiety, and there's an addiction to fear. And it's really, really important for me to hear this right now from you, and it's because it is, you get addicted to a way of thinking and a way of beating yourself up and a way of kind of just maybe catastrophizing, and you bottle up. And I'm really wondering, as you went through sobriety, did that worrywart part of you also get some healing, or did it kind of try to almost fight the sobriety, or how did that part come in?
At first it was a bit of a struggle, but now, because I am the way that I am, because here's the thing, is that I'm still fucking crazy.
Of course, not you, but we are who we are. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are gonna be who we gonna be.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I love myself more than I ever have now.
Congratulations.
But that worrying thing, yes, it was a struggle for a little while. But as I learned that I can't control certain shit, and at the end of the day, why do I want to control everything? I don't.
How did it work out before?
How did it work out? Exactly.
How did it work out before? Great point.
Leave me the fuck alone. I'm serious. If I don't have no control over it, don't call me and ask me what do you think I should do, because I'm gonna hang up on you.
Yeah.
Because I have better nothing to do.
We had Steve Parrish on, and he had the same.
Really think about this. Is that is peaceful?
Right.
There's a peace in that, and there is a real peace.
Yeah.
And that is a peace that I haven't felt in a very, very long time. When you can just tell somebody to just leave me the fuck alone, especially when I don't have. Listen, especially when it comes to business. If I need to be there, like my wife and I, we have these business. Sometimes we take a day and we just go through business. And she'll even tell you, since I've been sober, these business conversations have been actually pretty fucking cool. Now they didn't used to be. I could not have those types of conversations. I just couldn't do it. Yeah, it's bad.
I know,
it's so bad. It's so bad. Man, look.
We're trying to babysit your ass. Talk about love.
Man.
Talk about love.
What is it, man? You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the power of love today.
Real love.
Okay. But that's real love. But long story short, when I can't control it, then it's out of my hands, and gladly.
Yeah.
Well, we're not supposed to. Yeah.
That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything but add an element of stress. And when you're trying to de-stress your life, you can't take on other people's shit.
Mike says, Mike has this new thing. He says, there's no peace without the middle finger, which means like when someone's calling you about stuff, you ain't in control of it. It's like, nope.
You got to know who and when and what to say fuck off to.
Hey, what Jordan Peele say? Nope.
Nope.
Nope. I'm going to get the nope shirt. I'm going to wear it every day.
Dude,
nope.
Yeah. I've said it so much. I was like, who thought that Nancy Reagan was going to give me my mantra, just say no? Use it for so many things. What you say no to is more important almost than what you say yes to.
Exactly.
It takes your energy.
And it's as much as because as humans we want to help people. I don't wake up in the morning and choose violence. It's not that, you know what I'm saying? And it's not that I do that, but if I can't do it, I can't do it. Right. And the people who you tell no sometimes in your life, they take that no and they take that no personally.
Sure.
I'm just and those are the people you don't want in your life. Because if you can easily be shaken by me not being able to loan you $5 today, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I might be able to give you 15 tomorrow, but because you tripping right now, I'm not giving you shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So if you can't give someone 5% of yourself now, they're not going to get 15% of you later.
If you can just be patient, you can get 75 tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you tripping because I can't give you this little 5 today. You know what I mean? And those are the people who you don't want around you. And those are the people who I've kept those kinds of people. And without saying names, obviously, but those kind of people I've had in my life for a long time. And man, I'm telling you, bro, cleaning up the filth has been a main component of my life for the past year. Is just cleaning up the filth. I have Instagram that's the Nigel Hall, that's just for the fans, and then I have one that's called Nigel Hall Spiritual. You have to be invited to that party. I figured it out.
He's like, I could talk all the shit I want.
Say what the fuck I want to say.
Yeah.
I need one of those. I just have a podcast. Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. I think I'm gonna, man. Bro, the podcast bug is hitting me. Like or biting me. I'm gonna start a podcast. I'm gonna do one. I don't know how long it will last, but
so let me ask you about it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, the good thing about it is you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. You don't have to do every week. You don't have to do every month.
If you don't like it, then you can turn it off.
What's up, everybody? This is Mike, and today's show is sponsored by Sunset Lake CBD, a Vermont hemp farm crafting affordable CBD products designed to help with stress and sleep without breaking the bank.
Sunset Lake CBD is a majority employee-owned hemp farm located just outside of one of our favorite places, Burlington, Vermont. For years, Sunset Lake was a dairy farm producing milk for Ben & Jerry's ice cream. We had them on the podcast. In 2019, they diversified and started growing hemp for CBD.
And Sunset Lake CBD crafts products with hemp grown on their family farm and ships them directly to the customer, cutting out all the cost associated with getting on the shelves at stores. They have CBD products for every occasion and offer tinctures, salves, edibles, coffee, smokables, and even for that anxious dog of yours, they have pet products.
Ooh, I need to get some for my dog that's barking all the time. But I'll tell you this, I use these. The Sour Bears.
So good.
They are CBD gummies I literally, no joke, I take these every night. They help me sleep. And it's almost bedtime.
Yep. And I still, as said it before, I'll say it again. You go to a long show, you come home, my 42-year-old ankles are not what they used to be. And I rub that salve all over them and put them up, enjoy a nice cocktail, and just let it ooze right into those sore bones. And you know what, folks? All you Comes a Time fans, if you check them out at sunsetlakecbd.com and use promo code TIME, T-I-M-E, you'll get 20% off all products. That's sunsetlakecbd.com. Use promo code TIME, 20% off all products. Sunset Lake CBD, farmer-owned, Vermont-grown. Thank you.
Get you some. So let me ask you this, man. What was your turning point? Was it something, or you just came to the end and was like, I'm just done? Like, what was it?
What with the drugs and shit?
Yeah. What helped you finally come to the end?
Very easy answer. My mother used to tell me that when you are really tired of doing something, you'll hop on young. And I went to rehab. I think back and I kind of almost questioned the fact of whether or not I really needed it as far as the drug stuff. I did need it because what I learned about how to do the work in myself within my own thinking and how to change a convenient way of thinking. I needed that from rehab. And rehab is not something that you can do if you're not fully ready to fucking change. Yeah. You have to be ready. You have to be really sick and tired. And I'll even tell you the story. You guys ready for this? Okay, this is great. I was out one night longer than I should have been. And I came home at about 4:00 in the morning. And I got into bed and tried to go to sleep.
We've all been there.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go to sleep.
He knows what you're saying. I do too. Sure.
Hey, counting the sheet.
Counting the spots on the ceiling.
You know what I'm saying? Man, it was so fucking stupid. And
planning businesses that you're never going to start.
You know what I mean? LLCs and shit.
Yeah. Making notes like, buy this website tomorrow.
Breathing all hard and shit. And then my wife got up to go to work. She got up to go to work. And she couldn't start the car. Why couldn't she start the car? Well, I left the light on because I was looking in my nose to see how much clean was in there. That I didn't want to be visible when I walked in the house if she had been up waiting for me. Like a fucking idiot. And then look, and then she called me from work because she eventually got a jump. She called me from work and she's like, yo, bro, we're gonna have to have a talk when I get home. And regardless of what you were doing, if your wife says to you, we need to talk, it don't matter what you are scared to death. It doesn't matter what it is. Drug addict or not, if your wife ever says to you, we need to talk, you are fucking concerned, or you should be at least. Yeah. And she told me she couldn't get to work because the light had been left on. There was cocaine all over the fucking car. And man, I'm gonna tell you. And to answer your question, here's the answer to the question: is that when she said that, when we had a talk, she said to me those things, and the look on her face when she was saying these things was enough to make. Oh man, she was disappointed, but I was fucking disappointed because this is my wife. This is my best friend. You know, I did a show with a friend of mine down here named Josh Starkman, and he does like it's kind of like it's the closest I'm gonna get to Fallon, basically, down here. And he's sitting at a table, and he's, you know, we're the guests, and we're sitting on the couch, and he asked me to send him some pictures. But he came to my studio one time, and he saw this picture that I had of Marion Barry and his wife getting ready for something on the news. And Marion Barry is the picture is fucking funny because, you know me, I can find the humor in darkness. You know what I'm saying? And the picture is him looking at his wife. You know, he's obviously on it. And he's looking at her to see if she's looking at him. But the look on her face is just like, this nigga. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, and she's just disappointed. And that picture it means something to me because I'm laughing at it while at the same time I'm still seeing it reminds me of how I was and how I felt and how I don't ever want to make her feel again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my wife, that's my best friend, that's my homie, and I'm not ever supposed to make her feel that way. And I did. And we are just so good now because she's just happy to have her husband back.
Oh my God.
And
I'm sure.
I'm happy too.
That's real love, man, when a woman walks with you through that shit, that madness, and sticks around.
I'm telling you. Yeah, because I got to be honest, man. I'm going to tell you, I just knew she was going to leave. I just knew I was going to come back from rehab, a changed man, and she's going to be like, you know what? I'm out. And you know what? I couldn't blame her. I really could not blame her if she did. Yeah. And man, I'm telling you that if I was scared of anything while I was in rehab, it was that, to come home and not, like Luther said, when I turn the key, please be there.
You know it.
You know,
it's interesting too to hear you say about how the moment that it says something about you, and it says something about, I think, a lot of people that deal with addiction and deal with issues, is that it took you seeing that you're hurting someone close to you. Like, that was the thing. It wasn't all the pain. It wasn't all the damage you were doing to you. It was seeing her and seeing that.
Right, because I obviously didn't give a fuck about what I was doing to myself.
Exactly. Right. And that's what I'm saying. And it's like that's a super important thing to say about, you know, your heart. And how many people do beat the shit out of themselves for the mistakes and the things that just because it might hurt someone else. You know what I mean? And that's sometimes that's the hardest ones.
I think that what happens is, at least for me, is I was disappointed in myself about certain things that I wasn't willing to change. But had I really thought about that, had I taken the time, because you have to understand, for me, that was a convenient way of life. Yeah. It was go home, sit home and chill, go out and rage. You know what I'm saying? Go do your gigs, gig represented party to me.
Yeah,
for a long time, at least for the last bit. And I look back on it. I look back on like the damage, like the real there was actually damage control. And I look back and I actually see the path of fucking destruction that I caused, you know? And I'm man enough to own up to that. And in fact, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel better. You know, it's just like the problems with this country.
Yeah,
you know,
gotta own it.
In order for people to change the pain, you gotta fucking feel it.
Right.
I am not interested in babying people to get them to understand how I feel about something, or how, just throwing it out there, we as Black people feel about the way that we are being treated in this country. Still, it's not my responsibility. It's not my problem that if I explain that to you, you feel a certain way.
Right.
Because the responsibility now is for you to do something about it. G.I. Joe used to say, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Well, what's the other half? What's the other
battle?
Half? The other half is action, is doing something about what you fucking now know.
Yeah.
So to change myself, to have changed and to continue to do work on myself, I have to sometimes feel what it felt like for other people when they, I had a really close friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours. I'm not gonna say his name, but I had a really close friend of mine tell me about how they were worried about me and how I was being just an asshole one day. And man, it didn't make me feel good because I'm not an asshole. I mean, I am totally an asshole, but I'm not.
You're an asshole to yourself. You're an asshole to yourself.
When I need to be, I'm open the floodgates of assholedom.
It's there
to you if you ask. But ask a stupid question. Here you go.
Yeah.
But when he told me that, it hurt my heart because that's my man. And at the time, I obviously wasn't thinking about how he felt. I spent a lot of time just being fucking selfish and worried about me and worried about my shit. And it took a toll on a lot of my relationships. It took a toll on the nth power. That's how it broke up. I'm not speaking for nobody else, but I'm saying for me that it was the amount of cocaine that I was doing during that time. I fucked that whole shit up, and I got to deal with that because we was doing something really special.
Yeah, and they still are now.
That thing is that, and they still are, and I'm so proud of them, and I'm so glad that they are still moving. I really, really am. I love them. But me, my part in leaving was because of my shit, and I'm not putting that on nobody else. I'm putting that on myself. I will own that up. That was my fault. And the fucked up thing is it's like we can all still get together and play together and have fun, but now that dynamic is like gone, and it hurts my heart to know that but the flip side of that, the good side of that, is I still have many avenues to do that. And
you're still alive. You're alive.
Motherfucker. I'm still alive. But yeah, I'm still alive. No, that's the first one. Should be the first one. But the second one is I'm still blessed with many opportunities to do that in a world with a bunch of people who should have written me off, who should have been like, bro, you know what I mean? And I cannot tell you that I understand the meaning of grateful now, and gratitude, real gratitude is, man. And listen, I am not in the business of saving nobody else's soul. I don't want to be an advocate for nothing but my own health and my family and me and mine. But if my story can help somebody, can help figure out. I did a podcast with Andy Frasco.
Oh, he's great.
About my sobriety and how my shit, how I'm changing my shit. And a lot of people came to me and told me about how that helped them. And that made me feel fucking good. That made me feel better than winning any award I've ever won. That made me feel better, almost as good as any George Duke song I've ever listened to. But shout to George, you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You see all this shit. You knew it was coming. But it makes me feel good to share my story with people.
Well,
let people know what it is I went through, because I know a lot of people were wondering, and I'm cool with telling everybody. I'm cool with telling. I never smoked crack. I actually was a cokehead, not a crackhead. But it don't matter. It's the same shit, really, at the end of the day. But I don't mind telling people that, because
we were worried when you were going to move to New Orleans. A couple of people I talked to, and they were like, "Oh man," because this happened back way a long time ago with me with Blues Traveler and Bobby Sheehan, the bass player.
Yeah,
and he was real deep into it. And he moved. When he was talking about moving to New Orleans, a bunch of people were worried, and it took him out, you know. And we were I'm glad you're alive, man. Super glad.
Oh, let me tell you this. I just found this out the other day. I was in knew some of the people who I was hanging out with before I went into rehab. And bro, I gotta tell you, of the 5 main people that I was hanging out with, doing drugs with, 4 of them are dead. And I mean in a fucking year. In a year and 3 months and 22 days. Ooh. 4 of the 5 people who I was hanging out with are dead.
Wow. Just so you know.
So if that's not, now's not a good time.
Now's not a good time to be. I mean, not that there was ever a good time, but the fact that fentanyl could be in anything, anywhere. Yeah, man. You know, I mean,
man, God, I'm telling you, that fentanyl shit is fucking killing everybody. It's
hit so many people around me.
When you go near it, it's a I know, but
all right, man. Look, we got about 15 minutes left.
Okay.
Kofi, I want to make sure that some things we don't leave. We don't leave on the table. Yeah, hey man, I hear you. He sits right above on top of our piano.
He is right here with me every fucking day. That's my dad right there. But that's Kofi right there. And I keep Kofi with me in my heart. Yeah. And I think of him. Oh man, don't get me crying, bro. I think of him. I think of him every time I come in this room. Every time I look at this CP70, because I look. Oh,
that's why my back is bad.
Kofi story? You want to hear a Kofi story? Here we go. This is great. Kofi, one Jazz Fest. Kofi came to my house in the French Quarter when I was up there. He came to the house and we were hanging out, poured a couple drinks and we were hanging out and shit like that. And he goes on CP7, he starts to play. And he stopped right dead, like he was playing, and he just stopped and he just looked at me. And he said, "When you gonna tune this motherfucker?" Oh my God, man. And I'm telling you, I the next day I had it tuned.
You should have said you tune it.
I said, you tune it, but look, I had the hammer. I should have said you tune it, motherfucker.
You got perfect pitch?
You the one with perfect pitch. You tune it.
Walking metronome.
Look, here goes Phillips screwdriver and the you do it. But no, Kofi has made me a better keyboard player, even in his absence, because I always remember what he told me, and every time I do it, it always works. He told me that it's all shapes. All it is shapes. And if you play that same shape all the way up the fucking keyboard, you will be the dopest of all time. That is word for what the motherfucker said to me.
It's so
you
funny.
You will be the dopest of all time if you follow this soul direction.
All shapes.
You know, man. and he's really the greatest. And I did a song for him on my record, on my last record called A Brother's Love. And yeah, I really miss my friend. I know you miss your brother. That was your brother. But like he was I mean, we all have that connection from growing up on the same fucking street.
Let's tell people a little bit about that, just real quick. About
go ahead.
Mario's Pizza. Wait a minute, let me tell a quick story. Because Nigel came up to me, he's like, I heard you from South. Somebody said you from Southeast. Looking at me like a
real Southeast nigga. Like he was, I told me you size you up and everything.
Exactly. He was stepping to. He's like, you really from Southeast? I was like, oh man, he's like, Mario's Pizza, nigga. What you talking about? You know? And then he had that exact look. I had to like, you know.
Yeah, bro.
He was like, wow, you really are from Southeast.
Mario's Pizza. See, pizza cures everything.
Pizza cures everything. The Chinese people own it too. It's like
they still do too. People. I went back and they're still Asian.
Open. They still open. They've been open for like 53 years. They've been open longer than I've been alive.
Could you get just slices there, or did you have to get a whole pizza?
They're squares.
No, you can get. They come in. They come in what's called grandma slices. Which
grandma slices. Those are great.
Which are thick.
Yep.
Square slices, and just don't get nothing with meat over there. Like if you gonna get a cheese pizza, it's cool.
Onions is cool.
Onions might be cool.
They'll put a lot of onions on there, man.
Boy, they put peppers. The peppers be falling off. It just like I just ordered a bunch. You should have just gave me a fucking pepper, a whole pepper. You know.
Pepper with cheese on it.
Pepper with cheese and a side of bread.
But the thing is, we were 10 years apart. How old are you?
I'm gonna be 41 in September.
Yeah, so we were 16 years apart.
Yeah.
I'm 57, so we missed each other. We were on the same.
I didn't miss Bruno though.
Uh-oh.
No, and we're gonna talk about Bruno. No, so I used to. Okay, all right. So this is the dog. Somehow lived 55 fucking years.
Oh no.
This dog somehow lived 55 fucking years, and my family. So O'Teal. Okay, we lived on 25th Street in Southeast Washington D.C. And that's right on the corner of Minnesota Avenue. If anybody knows anything about Southeast Washington, D.C., it's the Sousa Bridge. You cross the Sousa Bridge going up Pennsylvania Avenue. Mm-hmm. And there's Minnesota Avenue, and it's three ways. Minnesota Avenue is to the right. 25th Street is you bear right, and you go up the hill, and Pennsylvania Avenue is you continue straight. We lived on 25th Street, so we go up this hill. And I was at the bottom of the hill. At the beginning of the block, O'Teal lived at the end of the
at the top of
the hill on the end of the block.
Okay.
And so I would have to walk up that hill to go to school because I went to Randall Highland Elementary, which was on 30th Street. I went to Randall Highland. So I had to walk up the street
past Bruno
to do that. And my family used to call this dog, we used to call him Cujo.
Yeah.
So,
really?
Don't walk past. Look, I swear to God.
I didn't know this.
We used to call this fucking dog Cujo because every time you would walk by his house, you would never see the dog.
He hid.
You heard the dog.
Threshold. I was like, and it would come, and if there wasn't a fence there, then you would have to have an interaction with the dog. And that dog is the reason why I was scared of dogs until I was probably in my mid-20s. Yeah, your fucking dog, Bruno, which is probably still alive.
Oh no. He got dysplasia, but I'll tell you a funny story about that because he's right about the hiding.
That dog was fucking crazy.
We had a cop. Someone rang the doorbell and the dog was outside. That was a fence, and there's beware of dog signs everywhere because he bit like 10 people.
Really?
So yeah, the cop said after 5
people, it's still the
Well, the cop said
Nowadays,
after 5 that they were gonna have to put him to sleep, and then he bit 5 more people, but it never made it back to the cops. Anyway, the doorbell rings, and we're like, "Hey, isn't Bruno outside?"
Southeast for your ass,
right?
Right.
So, and we're like, "Yeah, Bruno's not in here." So we look out the thing, and it's a cop.
Gnawing on somebody's foot.
And we're like, "Where's Bruno?" He was hiding behind the couch on the porch. Let him come all the way, because if you heard the gate clink, he was on your ass. But then he got into this hiding thing. And he let the cop come in, close the gate behind him, come up to the door, ring the doorbell, wait. And we were like, what? And dude, he was on that cop's ass. We were like, oh, sorry.
Whoa.
Dude, it was so crazy. That dog. Someone tried to poison that dog.
Oh my God.
Yes, and they ended up poisoning. My mom had it was an exotic goat that she named Capricorn. It was like bluish gray colored. Little, really amazing creature. And they poisoned the goat because someone was trying to poison Bruno. And she drank the water or ate whatever.
Way.
Yeah, and we came out there and she was just dead. But Bruno will be in the National Museum of African American History one day.
This dog is amazing.
At least for DC history, right?
Think about how many people have post-Bruno stress disorder.
Look at that. We'll know that dog too. Oh man,
PBSD.
PBSD.
That's exactly what I have.
Post-Bruno stress.
That's your next T-shirt. PBSD.
No, that's the next record. I'm gonna put one for Bruno now.
Oh man, please pour one out. Pour one out for Bruno, man. That dog.
That is hilarious.
I'm gonna smoke one for Bruno later.
Oh my goodness. Okay, man. One other thing. Your T-shirt.
Yes.
Because I'm a big Nicholas Payton fan. I wish that I had got Kofi and Nicholas Payton together more.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Know what? There was actually a gig. There was a gig that we played together.
Really?
You, me, O'Teal. No, you, me, Kofi, and Nick and Deitch. Nick Payton and Deitch at the name of the damn place. One Eye Jacks down here. You don't remember that? You were on the gig. It was you,
dude,
me,
I was probably
Nicholas
doing
Payton, Kofi,
so many.
Deitch.
Man, I gotta get a tape of that.
That was a bad motherfucker too, because that was also the first night that I met Nick, and I always tell him about this night because we were all raging our like you deep into New Orleans, and it was like 3:30 in the morning, and we're on stage, and me and Kofi are playing keys together, and we're bugging. Deitch is bugging, and Kraz is bugging, and you're bugging, and he goes up, and he goes up, and he plays the baddest shit, right? And then he just stands there. And I'm like, and there's actually a picture of me getting off of the keyboards and shaking the shit out of him. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you just standing there? And he always calls me James Brown after that. So
well, Nicholas,
tonight you find me.
Nicholas is the one who came up with this T-shirt. Yeah. What's on your T-shirt, right?
Black American music, because one of the things that he says that I'm starting to really see, especially in today's music, that jazz is dead, and jazz is a word that was created as another meaning, and we took it and did some other shit with it. But that's a whole nother half hour.
No, for sure, but
I don't think we have that much time. But The short version is that all music is Black American music. To be upfront, but anybody got any questions about that? Y'all can come to me and ask me about it.
Jazz is a 4-letter word.
QP nephew.
QP nephew. We'll have to get Eric to show that screen. I wish I had screenshotted it before you came on and it just said Huey P. nephew. That was so beautiful. That's it. I was you gave me such a good laugh before you even came on.
Yeah.
That I just thank you, brother.
Wow. Hey, I just want to really quickly. Oh shit! There we go. I just want to real quickly. Thank you guys for having me on the show, and I'm honored to. I'm honored to be here. I'm always honored to hang out with people who I consider family, and Teal. I consider you my family, and I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you never counting me out when I was down. You have always been a huge inspiration to me, and aside from that, it's always just been really dope, and I've always cherished the fact that I could call you and Kofi my family rather than just y'all being the greatest at what y'all do, and me being around you guys and learning from you both. And I just appreciate our friendship, and I appreciate you taking a chance on me being on your podcast and not saying some shit, because I have a lot to say. But I just love you very much, and I appreciate you, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to play with you again. It's gonna be good.
We needed to catch up for a while anyway. So.
For sure. And thank you so much for coming on.
I know you out here. Yeah, I appreciate it. And Mike, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'd like to just thank you for. I'd like to thank you for being, talking about that struggle, and that is extremely, extremely, extremely important to hear right now. So, really, thank you.
Yeah, we're losing too many people too fast. And that's what this podcast is about. We like to get down to it. We love to laugh and we love to talk about whatever, but we like to get on that in that lane.
We have
because I'm just
you have to.
Like you said, what did you say? 4 to 5 guys you were partying with are dead?
5 people I was partying with. Yeah.
Dude, that's no joke. That's been no time since you got sober. Wow.
Like I haven't even been sober for long enough to have lost really 5 people.
Yeah, that's
crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you for choosing life.
Yes, life. There's only one way is life. That's coming. I rush it. It's coming one way or the other. That's what Paul Moody used to say. It's
very
coming.
True.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. I love you too. Stay in touch here.
Absolutely. And travel safe today, brother. Enjoy.
Thank you. I love y'all very much. Stay safe, y'all.
Bye, brother.